challenge posed by Trump's tariffs has not gone away, says Starmer. Sir Keir Starmer has warned the challenge posed by Donald Trump's tariffs has not gone away despite the president announcing a 90-day pause on the higher rates. Stock markets rallied after Mr. Trump made the surprise decision to pause most of his tariffs for 90 days, leaving in place 10% default tariffs for almost all countries, including the UK. The president has indicated the timeframe will be used to strike deals with trading partners and claims around 75 countries have asked the White House for talks. Speaking to reporters in Cambridgeshire, the Prime Minister said that while he was very pleased to see many of the tariffs paused, he did not think the global trade war that had been triggered was simply a passing phase. "I'm very pleased to see the changes in relation to the tariffs. But the challenge hasn't gone away, and I don't think this is a passing phase. I think we're living in a changing world," he said. Sir Keir also suggested that any potential trade deal the UK reaches with the US may not be enough to spare the country from levies. Asked whether the pause made him more confident that a deal with the US could be done to get rid of the blanket tariffs, Sir Keir replied, "Well, our teams are talking and we've got good relations. We are calm and pragmatic. The US is our closest partner on defense and security, intelligence and of course huge amounts of trade. But I'm clear in my own mind that on its own will not alleviate the challenges. It's bigger than that, and that's why we've got to step up and turbocharge our economy." The main exception to the tariff climb down is China, which is facing 145% tariffs after Beijing retaliated to Mr. Trump's threat with an 84% levy of its own on US goods. Canada and Mexico will also remain subject to 25% fentanyl-related tariffs, while the pause does not apply to the 25% tariffs Mr. Trump imposed on steel and aluminium in March and on cars on April 3. Trump's decision to halt tariffs has led to increased market confidence in Asia and Europe, where markets were up on Thursday morning. However, all three of Wall Street's main stock indexes bucked the trend by opening down. Ballerina Ksenia Karelina jailed over Ukraine charity donation released in prisoner swap. Ballerina Ksenia Karelina, jailed in Russia after giving $51.80 to a charity supporting Ukraine, has been released as part of a prisoner swap deal with the U.S. The 34-year-old U.S.-Russian citizen was accused of treason when she was arrested in Ekaterinburg, in southwestern Russia, in February last year. Investigators searched her mobile phone and found that she made a $51.80 donation to Razum, a charity that provides aid to Ukraine, on the first day of Russia's invasion in 2022. She admitted the charge at a closed trial in the city in August last year and was later jailed for 12 years. Mikhail Mushalov, Ms. Karelina's lawyer, said on Instagram that she had been flown to the U.S. from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, on Thursday. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio added that Ms. Karelina was wrongfully detained by Russia for over a year, and said President Trump secured her release and will continue to work for the release of all Americans. Ms. Karelina, an amateur ballerina, was born in Russia but moved to the U.S. in 2012 and became a citizen in 2021. She had moved to Los Angeles, where she worked in a spa. She had been back in Russia visiting family at the start of 2024 when she was arrested, according to rights group The First Department. Russia's Federal Security Service, FSB, claimed she had proactively collected the money in the interests of one of the Ukrainian organizations. It claimed the donation was used to purchase tactical medical supplies, equipment, weapons, and ammunition for the Ukrainian armed forces. The charity denies it provides military support to Kyiv, while the U.S. authorities have previously called the case against her absolutely ludicrous. In exchange for Ms. Karelina's release, Arthur Petrov, who was arrested in 2023 for allegedly exporting sensitive microelectronics, was released. The dual German-Russian citizen was detained in Cyprus at the request of the U.S. Last year, the U.S. Justice Department said that Petrov participated in a scheme to obtain American-sourced microelectronics from manufacturers supplying the Russian military. Instagram owner announces new restrictions for teenage users. Teenagers using Instagram will be prevented from using some of its features without parental permission as part from an update to the app. Instagram owner Meta has announced users who are under 16 will not be able to live stream without the approval of their parents. They will also need permission to disable a feature within the app's messages, which automatically blurs images containing potential nudity. The updates are an expansion of the social media giant's teen account system, which Meta has announced is being extended to Facebook and Messenger. Meta launched its teen account program for Instagram in September to give parents more options to supervise their children's online activity. It follows a growing backlash about how social media affects the lives of young people. Meta said around 54 million teenagers globally had been moved onto teen accounts, and the latest changes will be rolled out first to users in the UK, US, Canada, and Australia. Other safeguards already in place for teen Instagram users include setting accounts to private by default, blocking private messages from strangers, strict limits on sensitive content, reminders to take screen breaks, and restricting notifications during bedtime hours. Increasing regulation has motivated platforms to give parents greater control over their children's access to and use of social media. In the UK, the Online Safety Act is coming into force, requiring the biggest tech platforms to take action to prevent users, and particularly children, from encountering illegal or harmful content. But tech giants have also been under huge pressure over the use of end-to-end encryption within messaging apps, including Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, over concerns it will be harder to tackle child abuse. The NSPCC has accused Mark Zuckerberg's firm of choosing to turn a blind eye to crimes against children by rolling out encryption within Messenger. The firm argues that the feature is vital to protecting users' privacy. Man and woman in court over damage to Trump Turnberry Golf Resort in Scotland. A man and a woman have appeared in court accused of maliciously damaging a Scottish golf course owned by U.S. President Donald Trump. Police were called to the Trump Turnberry course in South Ayrshire at around 4:40 a.m. on Saturday, March 8. Officers found red spray paint had been used to deface the 800-acre resort's clubhouse, while its greens were also damaged. Suspects Ricky Southall, 33 years old, and Uzma Bashir, 55 years old, were arrested and charged on Friday in connection with the damage. Southall was arrested in Wakefield, while Bashir was arrested in Leeds, both West Yorkshire. The pair appeared before Ayr Sheriff Court on Monday, where they made no plea to the single charge of malicious mischief. Both were granted bail pending a further court appearance. A Scottish government publication from October 2023 defines the common law offence of malicious mischief as the willful, wanton, and malicious destruction of, or damage to, the property of another. It notes the charge should only be recorded where widespread damage is caused, where the value of the damage is considerable, or where there is disruption of power supply, flooding, or similar. The publication says there is no specific monetary value at which a potential crime should be recorded as malicious mischief rather than vandalism, but multiple thousands of pounds of alleged damage would be required. Co-accused Kieran Robson, 33 years old, was arrested and charged last month in connection with the case. He also made no plea to the charge of malicious mischief when he appeared in the same court on March 31st. A 75-year-old man and a 66-year-old woman were also arrested last month as part of the investigation following inquiries in Oban, Argyll, and Bute. Both were later released pending further inquiries. Stolen RNLI flag returned to Anglesey Lifeboat Station after over 50 years. A flag stolen from a lifeboat station has been returned after more than 50 years. The banner was returned to Turnberry RNLI in Anglesey, along with a $26 donation and a note from a man apologizing for stealing it in 1969. The apology note from the man, who has not been identified by the RNLI, says he was camping up the road from the station with two friends at the time. One night, on their way back to the tent where they were sleeping, one of the teenagers climbed up the pole and took the flag. "We were only 17 at the time, but that's no excuse," the note added. The man said he was having a sort out when he found it and hoped it would get back to the RNLI after all these years. The flag now flies again at the station, having been reinstalled during a morning of training. Turnberry RNLI's volunteer press officer Megan Dixon told the station was really grateful to have had the flag returned to its rightful home. Usually, the post includes things like supplies for the station. So to have something handwritten and with a piece of history of the station, it was really nice to get it back, she said. Lifeboat operations manager Paul Moffat said it was great to have a piece of station history returned after so many years. "Thank you to the culprits for the kind donation and for putting a smile on the crew's faces. All is forgiven." Hungary suggests foot-and-mouth outbreak could be biological attack. A Hungarian official has suggested the country's first cases of foot-and-mouth disease in more than 50 years could have come from a biological attack. The World Organization for Animal Health, citing Hungarian authorities, said the country reported an outbreak of the disease on a cattle farm in the northwest last month. Thousands of cattle have been slaughtered to stop the spread of foot-and-mouth, while neighboring Austria and Slovakia have closed multiple border crossings. György Gulyás, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's chief of staff, told reporters on Thursday that officials have not ruled out what caused the outbreak, including an attack. "At this stage, we can say that it cannot be ruled out that the virus was not of natural origin. We may be dealing with an artificially engineered virus," he added. The official then said suspicion of a biological attack was based on verbal information received from a foreign laboratory which has not yet been fully proven and that no further outbreak has been detected. Foot-and-mouth disease poses no danger to humans but causes fever and mouth blisters in cloven-hoofed ruminants such as cattle, swine, sheep and goats, and outbreaks often lead to trade restrictions. Reports of foot-and-mouth first emerged in mid-March, with more than 3,500 cattle slaughtered in Hungary's northern county of Győr-Sopron. After the outbreak in Hungary, cases were then reported across 5 farms in southern Slovakia, prompting the country to declare an emergency. On April 2, Hungary deployed soldiers and launched new disinfection measures in the northwest close to border regions to contain the outbreak. Austria then closed 21 crossings into Hungary and 2 into Slovakia a day later.